Okay, this is Therascribe 4. This is a record management system for primarily counselors and therapists. Pretty simple system to use. It's built on one primary program, and there are a lot of other add-on programs that you can buy, such as treatment plans, homework planners, progress note planners. I'll give you a little rundown here. First, we'll go to the Home tab, and on the Home tab, it'll ask you, what do you want to do? First thing you want to do is enter your client's personal data, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Here's your client's personal data. You can list your provider, the therapist doing the work, what insurance the client has, any clinical notes, maybe something you want to touch on for next session, attachments, things like that. Next is your assessment tab, and on your assessment tab, that's pretty much where you complete your biopsychosocial history. So under family, we would list their childhood experiences, their current relationships, any conflicts in their family of origin, their present family. Developmental, we list things such as their school history, their intellectual and academic functioning. Next tab, substance abuse history. If they've had any substance abuse problems, if they've been to any treatment centers in the past, we'd list it on this. Good idea to go and maybe interview the family with the client's permission when using this information. Socioeconomic tab, we might take a brief employment history, brief educational history, and this is something that all these tabs that you'd add on to. If you see a client for 2 to 3 weeks, obviously you're going to have more information on the third session than the first session. Psychiatric tab lists if they've had past interventions, what other services they have had related to mental health, hospitalizations, outpatient, things like that. And last, medical status, any surgeries, any health issues now or in the past. Then we jump to the treatment plan, and under that, here's your primary problem. We'd hit the Add tab, and then we'd add a primary problem, let's say depression, and click OK. Okay, primary problem is depression. This tab right here, we'd say, well, how do we define depression? Sad or flat affect, maybe some mood irritability, and let's say low energy. Okay. Goals, our next tab. We'd say, well, what kind of goals do we want to have for this client? Well, we want to elevate their mood, reduce their ability, and help them explore and process certain experiences so that they can have a more different outlook on possibly some traumatic events that they have endured in the past. Okay. Objective and intervention tab. These are all the add-ons that you can put into Therascribe. You buy them as a disc, and they're very useful. Objective interventions, these are things that we could do during a session. These are all processing skills. Verbally acknowledge the unhappiness with life, maybe. Express emotional needs to significant others. Things like that. With that, we say OK. Interventions are a little bit more strenuous, if I could say. I'll give you an example. Under interventions for depression, confront the client's acting out behaviors as avoidance of real-life conflict involving unmet emotional needs. Okay. Homework. I don't have homework planners in this yet. I have them. I don't have them installed. They are really nice. If we were working on depression, I might hit a homework planner and it would have something to do with depression. Some processing homework that we give the client to bring to the next session. That's the homework tab. Progress tab. These are your progress notes. I have some planners that I didn't install yet, but these will basically write your progress notes for you, and even leave you a little bit of a narrative tab if you want to go and maybe write a sentence or two about what happened during the session. That's maybe not as generic as the progress notes planner. When we're through with all these, I'm not going to go through all these tabs today. We go to the Reports tab, and let's say we want to preview the report, or let's say we want to launch the report. It takes all the information that we put in on these tabs and actually puts them together in a report that many insurance companies need so that you can bill insurance. So we'll hit Launch Report, and this will bring you right into Word. And in Word, it will look as if we hand wrote the report, and this should launch in just a second as it pulls all the information that we had accumulated for the client into a real nice, easy to read report. Okay, it's accessing the data now. We've got 5 pages. We didn't fill out everything, but I'll give you an example of what the report looks like. So if you're thinking of buying Therascribe and you're a counselor, it saves hours on paperwork time. It's a really great system. If my computer was a little faster, but she should pull it up any second. I see the little work light on the computer working, so here we go. In this area too, we can also change how we want our report to look, from lightly formatted to real clinical looking report. This one right here that's going to open is going to be a real lightly formatted report, real easy to understand. You should just be able to glance at this and get a picture of what the client is experiencing. So let's have a little patience while this opens. Here we go. It's usually not this slow. Of course, when I'm taping to show you what it's like, of course it'll be a little slower. Might have an antivirus program running in the back. But I'm going to pause this for a second until it launches. So we're going to pause this. Okay, here we go. Okay, it did open. Here it is, right here. I'll close this, and there's our report. And obviously we didn't fill in everything in the report, but I'll give you a little bit of an idea of how it's structured. Up here we have the personal data, which we would have filled in, the assessment, which would have listed the biopsychosocial history, basically for the assessment. And a little down further, we will have the treatment plan. So I'm going to pause. Here we go. Here she loaded. I have computer problems today. But I'll give you an example of the treatment plan. Here's our treatment plan. The definition of depression, the long-term goals, the objectives, all listed. From what we just did is just a quick point and click and it put it all together. Looks like we spent hours on it. It's a really neat program. I'll be putting more on about it later. Thanks. Bye.